Okay, so as you may or may not know, I sold my desktop computer and I'm trying to switch over to Apple. I hear really good things about them. So far since I've got it, it's great. Using it, it feels amazing. There's a lot to like here. But now that I'm starting to settle in after the first week or so of using it, getting comfortable with it, I'm starting to really want to push it and see what it's actually capable of. Now I still have this guy. This is a 2020 Zephyrus G15, with a 2080 video card in it. What I did, and let's just hop in over here so you can see it on my screen, is here is the video that I created. I'll just put it in full screen while I'm talking. So I've got the main track in the background. I'm using the magic mask on each of these layers to separate the background. I didn't do a perfect job, but it's enough to get the idea, right? It's starting to become pretty demanding on the computer, on the graphics cards, or in this case, the GPU cores. I don't exactly know how Apple works with it, but this is 4K footage with no proxies, and I'm able to do this relatively easy. It's very impressive. All right. So let's get that out of full screen mode and let's take a closer look, because what I did was I did it on this Mac and I also did it on the Windows. I wanted to see how hard the Mac would smash the Windows PC. Okay, so as you can see here, this is me editing and creating the magic mask with the Mac. And this is where it gets important because, right here. Okay, look at that tracking speed. 6 frames per second, 7 frames per second. Yeah, here we go, tracking this one. We're at about 9 frames per second tracking. Now this is, this is the M3 Pro MacBook Pro. It has 16 gigs of RAM. What does it have? 12 PC cores or 12 CPU cores and 16 GPU cores. Now, let's hop over to the Windows computer. Again, this is 3 years old. This thing cost me about $18.99 before tax. So let's just say just around $2,000. This MacBook Pro cost me just now at the end of going into 2024, was it about $3,300? So with tax, we're about $3,800 and it's 3 years newer. Let's look over on the Windows. So with my new codec, it's actually scrubbing and working pretty well. Let's go and see. Look at that. 12 frames per second tracking speed. It's faster. I'm able to create masks faster with my 3 years old machine with the dedicated graphics card. Now, to be fair, this old laptop sounds like a frickin' jet engine when I'm doing this, but I'm getting better performance out of it. I did not expect that at all. I want to give both things a fair shake. This was with me working with the M3 MacBook Pro on battery. This was with me working on my Zephyrus laptop plugged in. Now here's what happens. Check this out. The moment that I unplug my laptop, this is it. This is in real time right now. This is me using the Windows PC on battery. Look, the second track's coming. You can see at the top, it's just turning into a slideshow. This is in real time. You can see my mouse moving. This is what it's like working on my Windows machine on battery. So clearly on battery, the M3 Pro is far superior. There's no question. It's quiet, it stays cool. But this Windows machine plugged in really still impressed me. I guess the thing that I'm learning about Windows is they're like a monster truck. They're loud and noisy and they use so much power, they get so hot, but when they're plugged in, they get the job done. The performance and everything on this MacBook Pro is just so much nicer, it's so much better, but I did not expect it to get blown out when it came to creating those magic masks. Again, I'm still learning what I'm doing. I'm not the guy to go to give you the technical details. I'm just comparing these things side by side, and I've only scratched the surface, but I just wanted to let you know how I'm feeling so far. If you would have asked me this morning before I did the test, I would say I'm in love with this machine. And now that I've seen what the dedicated graphics card to my old Zephyrus was capable of when it's plugged in, I'm like, oh, yeah, this MacBook's good, but it's not maybe as good as I thought that it was. With that being said, I think I have the delivery expected tomorrow. I did buy the M3 Max MacBook Pro. It has, what is it, 18 CPU cores and 40 GPU cores compared to the 18 on this one. I don't exactly know what that means. It better blow this thing away. It better blow this thing away. The 3-year-old Windows laptop. I just thought it was really interesting. And you know what? Editing on here is still a treat. The fact that it's on battery, the quality of the screen, the speakers, everything about it is still fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's an amazing machine, and I'm still leaning towards staying with Apple. But my gosh, the price, the value. I mean, to be honest, I bought this almost purely for video editing. And if the performance that I'm getting at this price point is around here, it's kind of hard to swallow. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I need to see what this M3 Max is like. I want it to be impressive because I want to create funnier videos. I want to create more interesting videos. But if I'm waiting around at 8 frames per second while it's a magic mask, I just saw Mr. Alex Tech dropped a video where he's working with his 4080 and he's doing magic masks at 45 frames per second. Waiting around to create masks is annoying when you want to work efficiently. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with this video. I'm like a pendulum swinging back and forth. One day I'm like, oh, I just love it. And then the next day I'm like, what am I even doing? How much money am I spending? This is, oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know there's a bunch of you out there that are in a similar boat as me. Maybe you play a little bit of gaming, you do some video editing, you spend a lot of time on the computer and you want to have the right tool for the job. Everything about this is fantastic. The build quality is just, it makes me want to use it. That's worth something. But the fact that the performance in the testing that I did today was beaten by this thing plugged in. Now I know it's not fair because this thing, when it wasn't plugged in, it wasn't even a contest. And it's a laptop. I want a portable workstation. That's why I'm doing all of this. So the fact this thing has to be plugged in doesn't really make it portable, but still seeing what the performance is capable of on a few years old laptop, it makes me really question, what are the newer laptops like then? Maybe some of the new AMD stuffs. I know their chips are getting pretty small. They're probably running cooler, running faster, running quieter. What can you get for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? Well, with the AMD stuff these days, with a dedicated graphics card. Anyway, stay tuned. I'm getting that M3 Max soon. I'll compare everything that I got. We can see what happens. Where am I gonna land at the end of this? Am I gonna stick with the Apple stuff or am I gonna go back for the value? I mean, I'm still really invested in the Windows Android ecosystem with pretty much everything around my house. I don't even know what's gonna happen yet. All right, thank you for watching. If you haven't checked out my last video where I learned about video codecs and how they have helped, maybe that's part of the reason why the editing on this Windows machine was so good, because of the new codecs. Otherwise, maybe check out this video next. Stay tuned, I got a lot of fun things coming down the pipes. We'll see you next time on the SAD Studio.